Welcome back to the Modcons podcast. Today we forgot to do our intro, so I'm doing it now, out and about. Today we're going to be speaking with people, asking them what they think about the Labour government, whether they think they're doing a good job. We all know the answer to that. What they think about politicians at the moment, whether they think they're doing a good job. We all know the answer to that, only joking. And yeah, just talking to the people, the great British people, and seeing what their thoughts are. So tune in.
So, how do you think Labour are doing at the moment?
Not very well.
Okay, do you want to elaborate?
Yep, I think with the winter fuel, that was the first big mistake they made. And I know now they've gone back on their word, but they've caused themselves more debt because more people have claimed pension credit.
Yes.
And I just don't think Keir Starmer is strong enough.
Well, you heard it here first. And when it comes to like U-turning, do you think? What do you think? There's whispers that they might U-turn on like non-dom status as well, and a few other things. How do you feel about those things?
I just think to do a U-turn, it just shows that in the beginning they shouldn't have actually done that. So to do the U-turn is just showing that I think they're seeing out there that people are sort of rejecting them now. The people that did vote Labour, it's not the Labour that they thought they were voting for.
Yes.
And I think it's a bit too late now. I think people have realised the lies.
Yeah. Do you think, because obviously there were some local elections and Reform seemed to do really well, do you think that had a direct effect?
I think it did, yes.
Yeah.
I think because of Reform moving quite swiftly and taking over from like Conservatives even,
And on that note, what would you vote Conservative?
I used to.
Okay.
I didn't in the last election.
Okay.
So yeah.
Are you Reform?
I am. Yes.
Oh, okay. And what would it take?
Come back to Conservatives. I think I like the new Kemi.
Yes.
I like her. I think she's strong.
Okay.
I think they've got some good policies, and let's see how it goes.
Okay.
I just think before we had them for 9 years, was it? 15 years? 14 years. And I just don't think, I think you needed someone to come in and change it, to give them a bit of a kick up the bum so they could sort of sort themselves out and come back stronger.
What do you guys think about the Labour government? How do you think they're doing?
I've not been on top of that. I'm sorry. I've been away traveling.
Oh, nice.
But I'm not a fan of Keir Starmer. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Are you like interested in politics at all?
I am. That's what I'm gonna study.
Oh, amazing.
So,
okay, that's really cool. Are there any issues that you think like politicians in general should be focusing on?
On the right things. I'm not getting rid of vapes.
Right.
I think that's a major thing, but we've got bigger problems.
Yeah. Like what type of thing would you say?
Poverty. That's for one.
Yeah.
Brexit.
Right.
VAT.
Love it.
And etc.
Okay, amazing. Tax.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
So how do you think Labour are doing at the moment?
Poorly.
Yes. Do you want to elaborate?
Well, I suppose the most astonishing thing is the duration they had to plan and get things ready relative to the effectiveness on arrival at power.
Yes, very true. And then, well, how do you think about some of their U-turns? Because they seem to be kind of doing a few U-turns with the winter fuel, with maybe non-dom status as well, and a few other things. What do you think about that?
Well, U-turns are very foolish, really, because you get no credit for them. You should get credit for some if you have rethought, but just to spontaneously U-turn it gets you no benefit at all.
Yeah. So some people might say that Reform had something to do with some of the U-turns because of the local elections. Do you think that's a valid point?
It's probably a valid point, yes.
And I mean, do you have a party that you favour? Do you have any particular favour?
Gosh.
Or did you vote last time?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
No, I definitely voted, and I voted Labour last time.
Okay.
And I voted Labour because I thought that they would do things for a variety of people who needed those things doing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to me that they're doing those things.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem to me that they've got any idea of what they need to do those things. So it's all very disappointing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And would you vote for another party at this point, because you're sort of not satisfied, obviously, with how it's going at the moment? What would be your next port of call, or would you just hope
I'd give
that
them no. I'd give them some time to, But my general feeling would be that if I foul up in the first year of a 5-year term, I can get things right in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be stupid of me not to give them the chance to spend those 4 years more successfully than the first.
Okay.
But it's not clear to me at the moment that I would vote for them. Um, so I'll wait and see.
Obviously, a lot of people are sort of disheartened by various parties, and they're looking for someone they can get behind, or a party they can get behind. And you were saying that.
Well, I think it all went wrong when politicians had to become professional,
Yeah.
and their understanding of life and experience has just been lost, and they're politicians, and because they're politicians they can only be politicians.
Yeah.
And that's just a very odd way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
Most of us have a very broad hinterland of experience, and I think professional politicians don't.
Yeah. Wow. So we need a new batch.
Well, I think moving back to not amateur politicians, but politicians who just have broader experience.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So actually, that's a good point. So do you think that most politicians should work in like the normal workforce of life before getting into politics, so they have life
Yeah,
experience?
which was absolutely what used to happen, and
Yeah.
then suddenly they couldn't do that. And,
Yeah.
if you're a 22-year-old, not very much experience, but you're trying to be a politician, I don't know. It's just different. It's
Yeah.
difficult. It is difficult. It's not that they shouldn't do it, but it's just difficult to do it well.
I want to know how you feel about the Labour government. Do you think they're doing a good job?
No, terrible.
Yeah. And what are you not loving about them at the moment?
Crime is at an all-time high in this area. The pollution. I don't feel safe at night.
Yeah.
Despite living in Chelsea area.
Yeah. And do you think our politicians in general are paying enough attention to safety and crime?
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's at an all-time high, and yet the London Mayor's just been given a knighthood, which I don't comprehend how that's happened at all.
Absolutely agree with you on that one. And do you usually vote Conservative? Would you consider voting Conservative in the future?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. And what is it about the party that interests you or captures your imagination?
I've always been a Tory.
Yeah, I love that. Amazing. And what other things that you think the Conservative Party, apart from crime and safety, that we should be focusing on?
I think that we need to focus more on retaining the British in the UK.
Yeah.
And many of them are now going overseas because of all the problems, because of the crime and because of taxes.
Yeah.
And we're losing our local people, which I think is a travesty in itself.
Absolutely. Do you think there's anything else that we need to be doing as a country to inspire more people to start their own businesses and get into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think investment, as a business owner myself, I think investment in small businesses is paramount to the success of the country. I think we need to learn from the States in that respect as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
So, how do you think the UK is doing, like with the government at the moment? Obviously, you're not from here; you're Australian.
Yeah.
But you've got business here.
Got a business here. Being here, it feels all right.
Yeah.
I think watching it from afar, there was a patchy period, wasn't there, when what's his name was raving during COVID. So I feel like looking from afar, it seems better. I mean, your dollar, your pound's a lot stronger than the Aussie one at the minute, so must be doing something right.
And comparatively speaking, compared the UK to Australia, what do you think we're doing? I guess better, if you like, than Australia at the moment, or worse.
I don't know about better. I think your tax is pretty much on par, like quite similar. If you're earning a decent wage, you're paying a lot of it to the government or to whoever it's going to. But I do think here, and comparatively to the States, still both Australia and here, comparatively to the States, like a lot better. Seems to be like less homelessness, seems to be less addiction, seems to be more healthcare or some healthcare. So I think, there's definitely some good parts about it. And you understand when you see places like LA why you do pay tax.
Yeah, yeah. And because you have a business here,
Yeah.
how did the new sort of tax rises implicate you?
I wasn't too across it apart from the capital gains one.
Yeah.
Which that actually didn't end up being as bad as it could have been, but it's worse than what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, capital gains tax is a bitter pill to swallow anywhere if you're starting a business and selling a business.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Any last words?
The NHS, yeah. Well, my girlfriend's from here, and her mum was trying to get an appointment at the doctor, and it took her like 2 or 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is tough.
That is tough.
And I feel like during COVID they got absolutely swamped and then just haven't really recovered. Or I feel like during COVID it was a shit job to have, so now no one wants to do that job.
It's probably a bit of both,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And in compared to Australia, what's their healthcare like?
our healthcare is good. We'll give
Yeah.
it that much. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
do have obviously free healthcare. Probably has its troubles, but like if I wanted to go to a doctor, I could get to see him like immediately, which is
Okay.
always a good
That's
a
what
good
you
thing.
want.
Yeah, it's what you want.
Definitely what
Yeah.
you want. Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
We're here with one of Laura's friends. What are you thinking about Keir Starmer, the Labour government? How do you think they're doing?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yes, please.
I'm not sure I could say it. You wouldn't be allowed to broadcast it, to be honest. Yes. Yes. To be honest.
And your friends, you say, are from outside of London. How are you guys feeling outside of London with, the Labour government? Do you think they're doing a good job? Are you feeling protected and looked after?
I think we're disappointed that they're not as left wing as we would have hoped that they would have been.
Right.
They are, in fact, just very similar to the Tory party now. We were very proud in our constituency of Norfolk to actually get rid of Liz Truss. Speaking for myself, I'm a big Labour supporter.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've got it right.
Yeah. You don't feel like they're actually a Labour party?
No, exactly.
Definitely Tory light, and I feel very underrepresented by any party at the moment.
And who would you now go to? Obviously, you guys are more Labour leaning. Who would you go to now? Would it be Green, Lib Dem? Who are you thinking?
Aged 70, nearly 72, I would probably. There's part of me that just kind of thinks, but I would probably vote Green.
Labour.
You stick with them. And would you ever consider voting Conservative, since Labour are Conservative anyway, in your opinion? No. And is that for an ideological reason, or That's a good answer. Amazing. And how about you? Would you vote Conservative?
Well, I trained to be an independent councillor a few years ago. I got thrashed by you lot. Thrashed. By
Sorry.
Tories. Completely thrashed. But I did try.
Yeah.
But I was an independent. Yeah. I don't have any allegiance to any party. I just think that somebody's got to try and do something to make things better, which is why I did it.
And what would inspire you to vote for, or to, kind of tie your flag to a mast to join a party or support a party?
They'd have to be pretty persuasive, and I'd have to believe what I was being told. And I don't. And I think generally these days they're not capable of telling the truth in most areas. That's what I think.
And we seem to get that a lot. People have lost a lot of faith. Do you think it's more kind of being able to trust what they say or what they're actually saying that's the problem?
It's the results of what they say that worries me. It's not what they say, because people change their minds. They say one thing and do another.
So, how do you think the government are doing at the moment?
I'd say okay.
Yeah. Could you name any good things that you think they're pulling off right now?
I'd say keeping the streets clean.
Yes. That's local government. Yeah. Okay, cool. We like to hear that. That is great. Yeah. Especially around here. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
And what about sort of nationwide? Do you think because I detect an accent. Where are you from?
I'm from San Francisco.
Ah, San
So
Francisco.
I'm not really that familiar with everything here.
Okay, that's fair enough. But on the world stage, how are we perceived in America, the UK?
I think a very incredible place, to be honest.
Okay, well that's good.
Everyone considers that all of you are very royal people.
Oh, we're all royals.
Yeah.
Everyone's a royal.
Literally.
That's cool. Oh, talking of royals, How do you find Meghan and Harry? Because they obviously went over to your side of the pond. How is that?
What I think of them, I think they're really great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And did you like the video of her when she was pregnant, trying to get the baby out,
Yeah.
doing the twerking?
Yeah, I saw that video.
Okay. So, guys, how do you think the government are doing at the moment?
Oh God! Right, wrong people.
Wrong people too.
So, how do you think the government are doing at the moment? It's not loaded. There's no wrong answers.
How do I think the government, like in the UK or
In
like
the
the
UK,
world?
in the UK, and we can go worldwide.
I'm American, so
okay.
I'm Italian.
Okay.
I think it's
Okay.
objective
Global.
obvious that we are a struggle bus right now on the brink of World War III potentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
No laughing matter.
Terrifying.
And do you think there's so we have quite a strong relationship with America. They're our allies. And do you think that is building or showing fractures at the moment? Because there's a few people that are not sure which way it's going. If we, the UK, are so solid with America, how do you feel? How does it come across in America?
Oh geez, I can't even get into the Trump stuff because it's so controversial, and I think that it's on the brink, as far as being an American, on the brink of a civil war, essentially. So even to speak about in between, liberal, Republican, different policies that are being implemented, I think it's something that I'm also not well versed enough even to know to even have probably a educational answer on, because it's again.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, I try to stay very even ground with it, because it is, look, everyone is so offended, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're making a joke or you say something in any way, people can take it offensive.
Yeah.
And so I try to, for the most part, remain
Neutral.
yeah, very neutral territory with it, because I have friends that are Republicans, I have friends that are Democrats, and they feel so strongly, whether it's vaccinations or it's different policies around Israel or what's happening in Iran or Palestine. It's such a tricky territory that you try to avoid those topics altogether, unfortunately, because it creates so much tension and so much diversity, and that's the sad reality of it. I wish we could all unite. I wish we could all come together and have just basic decency and humanity towards each other. I think that would be a good start for all of us, including Americans. And
About the UK at the moment, do you think things are going well?
What do you say about the UK in general?
Do you think the government are doing a good job?
Uh,
I was trying to keep it light, you see.
I've never been on the side of the government.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I don't.
Just in general, or the Labour government?
In general.
In general,
In
okay.
general, yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I guess it's because of how things have been recently.
Yeah.
In terms of the way they've been treating people, the way the laws have been going out, even like some of the stuff that have been in the parliament about assisted suicide and and all sorts. So I don't really agree with it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have reached the parliament in the first place. Right. So yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's coming in, or that's being voted on again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And also, we just had the abortion bill go in, where now you can abort a baby up to birth.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
No.
Yeah.
No. I think for me, because of my upbringing as well as my faith as well, abortion is it's a no-go.
Yeah.
Because that's another life, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think a lot of people aren't happy about it being extended, like where it was. People have their opinions, but then to say up to birth is quite a radical thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what are the issues that you think like the politicians of this country need to be focusing on?
I think one of the main ones is crime.
Yeah.
Especially the young people as well, how they're getting into gang violence and stuff like that, which was one of the things that Sir Sadiq Khan was meant to be looking after, but
hasn't done much on that.
I haven't done much. I've met him before as well, so
really?
because my church does community work.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And he came along before he became Sir
Right.
a few years ago, just to show a bit of face and publicity. But then I think things have kind of gone downhill since then.
Yeah.
And it's still around. So I think that's one of the main things for me. The young people, getting off the roads, getting off the streets, getting behind butts, building a future for them. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
I totally agree. And do you think that, there is, do you think that they have hope at the moment, young people in this country?
When there's good community backing, parents as well, family, friends, there is some hope. And I think the government should get behind that. It doesn't have to necessarily mean it has to be about money and all sorts of that stuff. It could just be, just set up a little, event, just to invite them, come along, have some fun, bouncy castles, whatever, stuff like that. So, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And lastly, I'm a Conservative. Would you ever consider voting for the Conservative Party, or is that a no-go for you?
It depends. It depends what you guys promise to do, and actually not just say something and there's no action behind it. So yeah, I would.
Amazing.
I would consider it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. I
No,
really
no worries.
appreciate your time.